Hello and welcome to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta. Today is the 24th of April and this time I'm bringing you something a little bit different, more of a discussion piece, as I want to talk about something that Tim Sweeney mentioned today, and he is of course the founder of Epic Games. Now he made a statement basically when he was talking on the topic of the games that Epic currently has in development. They currently have 3 in development, in case you're wondering. A game by the name of Fortnite, and a mobile game, as well as a high-end title which is intended to push the next generation of consoles. And he says, quote, as you'd always expect Epic to do. But that isn't the topic of this video. Now, basically, the statement that Tim made was in regard to how Epic is working to meet the industry's shifting needs, and he said, quote, the industry's changing. This generation, it seems there are about a third of the number of AAA titles in development across the industry as there was last time around, and each one seems to have about 3 times the budget of the previous generation. I think we're heading towards a future where AAA is the minority. And it's obviously been speculated that indie games will move forward to basically fill that void. Now, Tim is not exactly the first developer or publisher or whatever to make the comment that we're seeing less AAA games and we're seeing the cost rise as well for each of these games. Now, just on a little bit of digging, it's obviously pretty self-evident that the cost of a game's development, it varies wildly. It can be a bedroom-developed title that was made on a shoestring budget, or it can be a $200 million project, and that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, in case you're wondering. And while that is a rough estimation put together by Kotaku, and I'm going to link their source in the description, basically, a reporter said that the production budget was between 40 million and 50 million, and the total launch cost, which includes distribution and marketing, is about $200 million. And then we have, for example, Dead Space 2. The marketing alone costs 5 to 10 million, which is insane just for the marketing. Now, Star Wars The Old Republic apparently cost about $200 million to make. So this is giving you a pretty good idea of the insane cost that we have. For example, Watch Dogs, as Stephanie DeCroy, who is an executive producer on the project, has said that the development budget is in excess of about 50 million euros, which is $68 million. Now, obviously, she didn't give an exact figure, but that still gives you an idea of the insane amount of money that it takes to make a AAA game these days. So, I think that Tim's comment is more than justified, and as I said, many people have made this comment now, and I think, to be honest, if we see less AAA games, of course with higher budgets, it might be a kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. And we all love our AAA titles. I do, you do, pretty much everyone does. You know, even if we enjoy the indie games as well and our smaller games, we all love our AAAs. My AAA love story is with Assassin's Creed, for example, and of course I still love franchises like Batman, of course, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City and all that good stuff, as well as of course Far Cry, and of course the mighty Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which is obviously the greatest game ever made. And no, I'm not joking at all, I'm being deadly serious. Actually, I am joking, guys, just saying. But still, you kind of get my point. You know, I love God of War, but I also love Thomas Was Alone. I love Silent Hill, but I also love Amnesia: The Dark Descent. You kind of get my point here. We all love our AAA games, but indie is becoming more and more of a thing, and all for the better. Both the PS4 and the Xbox One are working hard to welcome indies into their loving next generation embrace. Of course, we have many indie games being offered as PS Plus rewards, and if you ask me, the strongest launch title for the PS4 was in fact Resogun, as that was huge amounts of fun. That's probably me being slightly biased though, as I'm not really a fan of first-person shooters, so of course Killzone Shadowfall wasn't really going to be my cup of tea, not taking anything away from Killzone, but I absolutely love the hell out of Resogun. And to be honest, I find more enjoyment in indie games on a regular basis than AAA, because I only have a certain amount of time for AAA games these days, and I think most people have that as well. And of course, there's a whole budgetary constraints as well. Not everyone can afford to drop $60 or £50 sometimes on a new game every month or what have you. So I think it would be mostly a good thing if we saw indie stepping more and more into the limelight. You know, still remaining indie, still remaining that basically that free and wild land where creators and developers and artists and whoever are free to express their ideas without borders, you know, where their only constraint is that of budget. And to be honest, that budgetary constraint often forces them to be more creative. They want to have this really epic game and they want to have well, they need to cut corners somewhere, so it basically makes the whole project shine with love and care. And while it may not have the polish of a $200 million game, we can all pretty much agree that Bastion, for example, was one of the greatest games of its year. It made its way onto numerous top 10 of the year lists. Mine, Top Biscuit, for example, many more. I'm sure I'm kind of just skimming the top of the foam on the massive ocean, for example. But that was obviously an indie title, and now we've got Transistor coming out from the same company. So I think if we see more of those indie successes, if we see indie basically remaining the free creative space that it is, but basically filling the void between the slightly more spaced out releases of AAA games, I think that could definitely be a good thing. Of course, we can still have a successful indie company. Of course, we've got Mojang with Minecraft, and then we have Frictional Games with Amnesia the Dark Descent, and the slightly not as good Amnesia, Machine for Pigs, but we also could have Soma coming out from them as well. So I think that would be an interesting change of pace rather than this constant slew of AAA titles that kind of overwhelm the average user. So could be interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts on his comments and what I've said in this video. Of course, you guys are free to express your thoughts as always. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.